And I realized I wanted to go to New York on the big stage, but so I was a over-the-counter and options order router. So I would route all of our orders to other brokerages, and I wanted to go to the big dog, so I started to route all my orders to Knight Equity Markets, which was the largest NASDAQ trading firm in the world, because I wanted to make them a lot of money so I could get in. Next thing you know, I called them up after about 6 months of doing that. Everybody said, why are you routing all your orders tonight? I said, oh, they give me good business. And I called Steve. I said, hey, Steve, the guy who I would route all my orders to. I said, Steve, are y'all hiring over there? He's not going to say no, because I've been making a whole lot of money. He said, yeah, you know what? Gave me the HR person. And this was 1 year out of school. Next thing you know, they called me and said, we can do an over-the-phone interview on Monday, and this was in September. I flew out on that Friday, and I just showed up on Monday. And they said, what are you doing here? Who are you? I said, my name is Ryan Mack, and I have an interview at 8 o'clock. They said, wow, it's supposed to be an over-the-phone interview. Really? Oh, man, I thought it was I flew all the way out here, and of course I knew it was a phone interview, but I mean, this is Detroit, man. Detroit knows how to hustle, you know? So they gave me a tour, and they gave me an offer out on the spot. And I worked there for 5 years or so, and I said, I want to do something else. And so I started a financial planning company after I didn't want to work with the other firm that gave me an offer. And I read about 2 to 3 books a month for an entire year, and I created a personal finance curriculum, and I started to teach that at a local community college. And then that became the basis of my financial planning company. So I mean, when I'm thinking about it now, it's kind of like I just floated. It really was like I was like the log in the river. You know, it just happened to be, you know, and I helped steer it, and I worked, but I don't know. I don't really look at it as extremely, like, I don't know, it just happened. Everything kind of just fell together, you know. And I guess, you know, Lady Luck smiles on those who work the hardest, I guess. But, you know, I've been lucky, I've been blessed at the same time. So I'm thankful for the position I am. And which is why I really don't think that when I look at, like earlier today, I was at Ryan Correctional Facility. I mean, by the grace of God, there go I. Because listen, there's nobody in that place I was at earlier that can't do what I did. There's nobody there that can't. I don't look at it as extreme or, you know, and I wrote a book. I mean, you know, Yusef wrote a book, and I'm sure he'll tell you that book's been in his head for years before he wrote it. So you write a book about things you know about. If you want to write a book about something that you don't know about, it's going to be real hard to write a book. But if you write a book about something that you've been thinking about and dreaming and living and breathing for years, you're going to write that book in a few months. So write a book about something that you know about and make some money off of it. And I don't look at it as extreme or something that's lavish. I just look at it as just doing what I guess I've been good to do. I don't know. I don't look at it as something special, is what I'm trying to say. And not something that is that anybody else can't do today if they wanted to emulate what I did.
Yusef, would you consider yourself a floater like Ryan does? What would you call the path you took to get where you are now?
No, I wouldn't call it floating at all. But I will call it a result of a determined spirit. Coming out of prison, I was determined to not go back to prison. You know, while being in prison, I studied world politics, world history, world culture. Never studied business. But out of necessity to make it, I created a business. I created a plan for myself out of my experience. I had a plan, and you know, Ryan probably tell you best in business. Sometimes you scrap that plan to come up with a whole new one, and that's what I did. And you know, writing the book, I didn't know the first thing about it, but as Ryan just mentioned, I had the story in my head, and it just came out. And when bookstores locally wouldn't set my book in their stores, I said and did the next best thing, opened up my own bookstore. And you know, and people saw the determination in me and things begin to grow. You know, if you're making things happen for yourself, people will support you. And that's one thing I've consistently learned throughout this struggle of what we call life.
Ryan, based on your up-close personal experience with the capital system, do you feel that capitalism is the best system to operate our economy?
That's an interesting question. And I get that question a lot. And I am still a capitalist. I'm a believer in the system. I'm just not a believer in greedy capitalism. I think that greed.
Good luck with that.
But the thing is, I actually feel that, and this is my philosophy. My philosophy has been, if you show, or if you can prove, especially to someone who's driven by greed, the benefit of being able to create something. Because I believe that capitalism, it allows you to be, it allows this store to happen, you know? It allowed the books to be written, you know, and allowed a lot of things to be created where you can make something and then make money off of something. But making money off of something doesn't have to be to the detriment of someone else. And that's when capitalism fails. When you start to create things and make money despite or that works against other individuals. If you start to drill and make money by drilling off of right off the shore, or if you start to create tobacco and selling them and saying, you know, I need to decrease the age limits of tobacco selling companies because I can make more money. You start to try to say, you know, a lot of things. If you want to, the whole regulation right now, that quite frankly we're losing the battle of regulation. The president just backtracked the other day on smog regulations. We're losing that battle. But smog, and I having asthma growing up, if it's a choice between having asthma and making money, I would hope that someone would choose asthma. But the greed makes folks choose money. And there's no doubt that our system and our government right now has been bought and sold multiple times over. Lobbyists and special interests run this town. But if we can somehow, I still believe that if we can somehow show that businesses don't have to be built in a way that hurts someone. They can be built in a way that you can make your money, but also help someone. And not to say it again, that you want to give it away, but you can make money in the way that I run my business, again, is the way I feel that a business, in my idea, still fits capitalism, but you always see me giving information away at the schools, in the prisons, and always writing books that benefit and educate someone. It just so happens that the services that we provide, you have to pay for. So I can use that capital to put food on the table. And I don't need a lot of money. I've never needed a lot of money, but the money that I've made has been good. It's been enough to sustain. It's been good. I've been blessed. My business has been doing well. But I haven't done it in a way that if someone were to look at me and say, you know what, because Ryan's made money, there's someone else that's hurting. They've looked at me and say, you know what, because of Ryan making money and the way he's doing it, a lot of folks have saved. They've built savings. They don't have to worry about poverty. They don't have to worry about you know, the lack of knowledge. They don't have to worry about, you know, we've helped many gang members in New York form businesses. Through the capitalistic society. I mean, Damon Jenkins wrote a chapter in my book, has his own construction company and hires other bloods in the business, in the community through the capitalistic society. And he built his business so other folks can work under him and also make money, and they pull them off the streets. Now they no longer feel it's the necessary, because most folks when they rob and steal, most folks they rob and steal because they're hungry. And they just want to eat, so they feel it's the only way to put food on the table. Maybe I'm the ultimate optimist, but I believe that in the people, if you believe the way that if we can structure this society, myself, and look at this store. This store is built off capitalism, but it's a benefit to this community, a huge benefit to this community. And there's nothing wrong with Yusef making money. You know, I don't know how much money he's making, but I know the store's here, and I know that folks are benefiting from it. And I think capitalism for too many folks equates with millionaires. Capitalism is this store. Capitalism is my business. Capitalism is someone who wants to open up a hot dog stand on the street so they can make money, put on the table, and maybe put some food in their stomach. You know, I do. If you can try to take greed out of it, but show people that greed is, and I think that what 2007 showed, this is what it showed. It showed how harmful and hurtful greed is. The greed killed this economy. I don't think capitalism killed this economy. Greed destroyed this economy. And it's been brewing, and it's been allowed to brew too long. I think the American people have to start waking up and speak out against the greed. I wouldn't speak out against capitalism, but absolutely speaking out against the greed.
I mean, the fact of the matter, you live in America. Right. Capitalism is the economic system that runs and rules this country. So to try to do anything different would be crazy. But understanding business and understanding it takes money to be able to sustain what I do and what others do. But we're fortunate enough, like, to create a model. You know what Ryan talked about. Here, you know, we're in the cafe side, but we do a lot of community outreach, and it's about educating people by supporting our businesses. You support our community outreach. You know, our annual back to school supply giveaway, but also not in a sense of just trying to have people dependent upon you, but being self-sufficient and creating. Ryan, he is a financial manager. And pay him to teach me financial management. And we're sharing resources. We're circulating our dollars amongst each other. That's how we maintain. That's how we survive. But again, I laugh because I can remember, when I first came out the book, being an anti-capitalist, it was hard early on. Speaking passionately, and I'll forget to say I got a book for sale because I felt wrong. I felt like I was taking from people. I was exploiting people. But again, if I don't sell my book, because this is my job. I can't take care of myself. I can't do what you want me to do. So it's like, how do you find that balance? And there's nothing wrong with making money. There's something wrong with, as Ryan said, if it's at the detriment of your community, it's a detriment of exploiting others. And so it's a way of educating folks. Like, if you celebrate what I do, you celebrate what Ryan do, then you should support us. And by supporting us, you support the work that we do. You support everybody else across the country that don't do for you. But again, that's how we've been educated and conditioned to think and behave. And here's individuals that utilize business purposes to better our community.
And I had a conversation with a bookstore in New York, and I stayed in that store for about 2 hours one day. They are anti-capitalist, and we talked for a long time. We actually might set up a debate about this and they said, you know what? We will put your book in this store, because they were opposed to the book and everything. We said, we'll put your book in this store if you come in and do a debate with us. And we're still in the process of setting that up. And I said, man, look, set it up. I'm hungry for it. Let's get it going. And my major point is this, and this is what I said here. Whether you're for capitalism or not, okay, it is irresponsible for anyone. Let's just say you are the most anti-capitalist individual in the world. It is irresponsible to be living and operating in a capitalist system, even though you don't like the system, and at least teach your individuals about how to manage money to sustain themselves. At the very least, let's just say, I said, look, and I said to the people, what if you win? Let's just say you win the debate, and in a democracy, it is feasible that capitalism could be overturned. Probably will never happen, but it's feasible. In an ideal world, in utopia with unicorns and rainbows, capitalism could be voted out and overturned. If they win, but if you win, it's not going to happen for years down the line. What are you going to do till then? what's your solution from now until the time